Good evening. This is Phil Danielson. I am the president of Caprock Executive Development. And today, in today's webinar, we're going to be going over the Strategic Partner Overview and our Quick Start program, which allows our strategic partners to be able to understand quickly exactly the best way to get results with the customers and the potential customers that you have. To begin with, I'd like to go over a few things. First, if you're using the desktop application of YouTube or Hangouts, you should have some type of a chat mechanism on your right. Assuming that you do, then feel free to ask any questions that you have so that we may be able to integrate as much into this as we can. So feel free. Once again, chat is on the right side. Feel free to chat away. However, if you don't have the capacity to do that because you're on a mobile phone or something like that, then feel free to text me. And my text, you can text me at 801-350-1197. Once again, that's 801-350-1197 so that we can have questions as we go along. Okay, strategic partner overview. The way we'll interact, the way we'll do this is we've got the slideshow. I'll be giving you my insights as we go along, and then, of course, any questions that you have would be wonderful. Let's begin. So we as a firm have come up with this little idea here called the elemental science of success, going back to my days when before I actually had to think for a living, back when I was trying to get my undergraduate degree. The idea of chemistry was that if you put certain elements together and they interact in a certain sequence, they result in something good or bad, depending on what you want. And with that in mind, we're going to go through a few simple things that, if they're done in the right sequence and understood in the right sequence, will give you success, which is ultimately the result that we want. So let's go into what we will be talking about today. First, we're going to go over what Caprock services are, which ones we offer, and to whom. That will hopefully generate some interest that you'll be able to tap into with your customers or potential customers. Then, of course, any interest that's created will require some answering of some questions. We'll go over what those questions, the generic questions, the most likely questions that you might receive, how to respond to those. Then, of course, based on that, you may have a lead. We would love to have you have leads. And then, of course, the nuts and bolts of how you get that lead to us, and then how we get from the lead to the result that we want. So that's kind of an overview. So with that in mind, let's start. Where do you start? You start at the beginning. So let's learn about Caprock services. There are several different ways to learn about Caprock services, and let's go through them sequentially. First, the simplest way is to go to caprocked.com, caprocked.com, and there you will find brochures and videos, which we'll be referring to today, that will give you greater insight into exactly what we do and how we get the results that we do. At its core, however, all of it goes back to our concept of behavioral economics. In simple terms, behavioral economics is simply the intersection of sociology and economics. And what that means is there is now this field of study called behavioral economics that goes into the idea of how we make economic or financial decisions. Well, that's important, as you can imagine, as you're marketing products, as well as in a negotiation framework. Those are the main flagship products that we sell. We have a variety of other services and products that we do, but the big two are a negotiations system and seminars and training. And then we have a marketing system and what we call a marketing tech stack that allows us to be able to use those principles that are derived through behavioral economics, how we think about financial decisions, and more importantly, what shortcuts, what repetitive things do we do that can be used and gleaned and to help customers get the results that they want. So the simple way to learn about those things is, like I said, go to the website. The back screenshot is of our website and a little video there. In addition to that, we also have a brochure also found on the website, a few brochures that go into those different products that we have. And as you can see here, the screenshot has to do with an integrated marketing platform on the marketing side that we talked about. So let's talk about what we've seen over time with the company with respect to how our services and products are received. First, we've seen that smaller companies tend to be interested in outsourced marketing. It's not to say that they don't have interest in the negotiation seminars, but they tend to be more, they want their phone to ring. They want to increase their revenue, which makes sense. And so our concept of outsourced marketing, integrated marketing platform, outsourced CMO services are wrapped around the concept of a smaller company wanting to increase their top line. Second, larger companies tend to be interested in the executive training. They've got executives that are making million-dollar decisions every day, or hundreds of millions of dollar decisions every day, and they want their executives to be as well trained as possible. And understanding the behavioral economics behind that makes a huge impact into the results they receive. Ultimately, understand that they are not mutually exclusive. Smaller companies may want to have executive training as well, and we have the capacity to handle larger companies' marketing needs. So one of the ways that you can learn about Caprock also is to get familiar with the successful account patterns. As you begin to explore the needs of your customers or your contacts, you'll begin to understand those patterns, and of course we would be happy to help you do that. In addition to that, attend a Caprock training session. We have integrated marketing platform seminar for that, and in addition to that, we have one for executive negotiation system. They both last about a half an hour, and they give you a quick overview into the nuts and bolts of what those services are. I've got a question here on the chat, so let's go to the question. And that the first question is, so what industries do you focus on? And that's a good question. We don't focus on any particular industry. What we find is there are commonalities across industries, both on the negotiation side as well as on the marketing side, and we can make our product, our services conform to any industry. Now, we do have experience in certain industries that help us be able to give some insight into a particular industry. But overall, we don't have any limitations with respect to what industry might or might not be, those tools might be useful. Thanks a lot for the question. I appreciate that. Okay, next. Here are a few other ways that you can understand a little bit about what our services are. Read our strategic partner program quick start summaries. It's a PDF that we have that allows you to see how we've had success in the past and how that might help you. Also, finally, you can sit in on meetings and calls with a Caprock representative, or you can set up a one-on-one with a Caprock representative. Obviously, it's in our best interest to make sure you're as comfortable as possible. You don't need to be our subject matter experts, but we would be happy to get you as up to speed as you would like to be with respect to our products. So feel free to have a conversation with your Caprock representative about any of those things. All right, so as you begin to go through your contact list, you're going to see some companies or people that you know that are more likely to have a fit than others. So let's talk about what we do and how that. So we want you to look for likely fits. The way we have you do that is to mentally match up prospective clients with the most likely service to benefit their business. You're going to have some that have already expressed a need, for instance, for increased revenue. They're frustrated, especially on the marketing side. They're frustrated that they're not having as much contact with new customers as they would like, or they're frustrated with the marketing services that are being provided because they simply are not resulting in the return on their investment that they would like. Going through that mental exercise is helpful to see what company may or may not be helpful, or where our services might be helpful to them. And in addition to that, of course, the negotiation seminar. If you have a young executive that looks like maybe they're a little over their head when it comes to trying to negotiate terms of a deal, then clearly having them get in contact with us would be great for them in being able to move forward in their career. A simple way to do this is we have you rank them in order of likely interest, and we have you think through not just the idea of what interests they might have, but also thinking of budget and timing and decision-making process to determine who are the most likely candidates, especially at the beginning as you're starting your process of trying to work with us. We'll have you put that in a spreadsheet, and we'll review that with you so that we can determine the best method, the best time, the best way to approach them as you move forward. Well, obviously the next thing is to create some interest. So we do that through a simple 5-step process so that you can be able to move them along. Step 1, this goes back to the other concept that I was talking about a few minutes ago. Are you achieving the sales volume that you want? Now, this would be for, typically this would be for the marketing services that we offer, but that may not always be the case. It's okay to have that conversation about negotiations as well. Because an increase in negotiating skills is probably going to drive higher sales. So a good place to start is, are you achieving the sales volume you want? A simple way, especially for small businesses, to understand that is the phone ringing as much as you want? If it is, then we may not be a good fit, but if it's not, and that's generally the case, then we can help. And so how do you get from here to there? It's pretty simple. We don't need you to sell our services. We just want you to help them make the connection with us. And so a simple way of doing that is to say, I know of a company that can help. I'm going to get you connected with them. Therefore you have a relationship of a trusted advisor rather than somebody who is simply trying to sell them a product on the side. So the next step is, of course, they're going to have questions, and we'll get to that in the next slide. And finally, on step number 5, you're going to try to arrange a meeting. We want an exact time that's helpful for us, either a phone meeting or a live meeting. Let them know it's on the calendar with respect to the marketing services, on the calendar of the marketing analyst. With respect to the negotiation services with our education expert. Please treat it as a locked-in appointment, as they will be setting time aside. We find that that's much more effective than something that's a little more nebulous, and it achieves better success. So we've talked about creating interest. Now let's talk about how we answer the questions that will inevitably come up based on their interest. We want you to reinforce the likely benefits. So whatever it was that caused them to have interest, we want you to reinforce the benefits that are likely to result from meeting with the company that you're recommending. So let's talk about revenue. Maybe as they're talking about revenue, they want more money. They want more increase in revenue. They want the phone to ring more, but they simply don't understand, for instance, how to what they need to do to be able to find the target customer that they want. They know that they can provide great services. They are, but it's mainly just word of mouth, and they have no formality with respect to their marketing services. So you'd want to reinforce by talking to us, we can help bring in and simplify the concepts of digital marketing, for instance, with them, maybe increase their presence through a better or an actual website if they actually don't have one, but usually it's a better website, something like that, or as complex as data mining or whatever. Reinforce those likely benefits so that you have so that you can strengthen what we can bring to the table. Next, case studies. Case studies can trigger ideas and scenarios that are familiar to the particular company's issues, objectives, or obstacles they're attempting to overcome. And you'll find those case studies on the website as well as the brochure. We have several different studies there, but that can help them wrap their head around different things that we've done with people in the past and that we can do with them. Looks like we have another question here, and that is, when do I get paid, and what is it based in? I tell you what, when we get to the end of the scenario, I'll talk about how we get paid. So we'll circle back on that, but thank you for the question. Okay, they're going to ask about who and what we are. Who's the company and what do we do? So obviously just refer them to the website. Our brochure is a PDF that you can email to them that answers most of the questions that they'll probably have. Another one is who we'll be meeting with, and understand that we're going to break this down into two parts. The first one is if they're asking about our marketing services, they'll meet with a market analyst who will interface with a team of the 14 most experienced marketing veterans in the US. Our team is awesome. They are people that are recognized as a team in their respective areas of expertise. This is not your brother-in-law trying to create your website. These are professionals that we have combed out throughout the country that are experts in their field. And so you can have great confidence that the analyst, we have a marketing analyst that goes and talks to them. The analyst works with our team to make sure that the services and the products that we offer are the best and most customized for that particular business. If it's on the education side, or on the most assuredly on the negotiation side, what we would tell them, we would want you to tell them is, the answer is it's an executive education specialist that works with a group of professors and PhDs that facilitate live events for senior management of companies like yours. I personally direct and manage the professors and the PhDs that look through, that perform those presentations, and I make sure that they are only the top of the top, both not only in just the knowledge of negotiation and negotiating skills, but also in their ability to present those skills and those terms in the highest educational value, so that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck with respect to how quickly we get you up to speed and make it an integral part of how you negotiate. This is not just simply a simple seminar that they listen to and they forget a day later. Okay. What does Caprock charge? The way we want you to answer that is, look, I'm recommending that you meet with them based on your situation, because you've had similar situations, similar issues with the ones that you're dealing with that they have. Caprock will meet with you. They'll put ideas on the table, and we'll try to get things moving in the right direction. And ultimately, their fee allows for a great return on your investment. And somebody else had texted in, what are your fees based on? And our fees are based on the services that we give. And so one thing is this: because of the specific way that our company is structured, we're able to provide great services with top-notch talent at a much reduced cost than our competitors can with diluted and not as good talent. Our business model was specifically designed so that a small business does not have to get the generic, boilerplate, boring application, but instead it can be customized to their specific needs at a great cost. So our fees are very competitive with people in our industry. On the negotiating side, also for the return on your investment, it frankly cannot be beat. I've heard story after story of people that have attended my class or our seminars, and within a week they've already recouped their cost of what the seminar was. So we want you to reassure the prospective client that they are going to enjoy the information and the insight that results from meeting with Caproc's analysts. These analysts are also very good in their field, and the idea, this is not a high pressure situation. This is trying to make sure that the fit is good for both us and them, and we want them to be excited about bringing us in. Okay, so now let's get into the weeds a little bit. How do we transfer leads? Once you have somebody that has some interest and they would like to meet with us, how do we do that? Well, what we do is we'll send you a link to a simple data entry form where you can put the information in. It goes to our database, and then we begin to move from there. This gives you a little summary of the different questions that we ask, and let me go into the next one. We'll actually show you a screenshot of the but it gets the information to us. So you just simply put the information in there, a summary of objectives on the potential budget we're referring to. It gives us an idea about which experts might be better able to handle, give us the information that we need. So potential budget's important, not critical, of course, and it's just an estimate. And then, of course, we're looking at urgency and first meeting details and any other issues that you might have. Oh, this is a good time to come back to the question about the question was when do I get paid and what is it based in? You'll get paid based on you'll get paid when we do. That's the bottom line on that. As soon as it hits our account, we'll immediately turn and transfer that money to you. However, in addition to that, understand that what it's based on is the agreement that you have with us for some type of a revenue sharing agreement is typically how we do that. All right, so now let's going back into the weeds, or the nuts and bolts here. Let's talk about the quick start, how we get from here to there in your first 90 days. So here are the 6 things we would like you to do in the first 90 days. First, we'd like you to create a list of 100 potential customers. And then we want you to focus on the top 30. So this is part of that winnowing process. We want you to go through the mental exercise of which of your potential customers, your contacts, would be most likely to be successful. So we want you to focus on your top 30. And then we'd like you to refer 10 of those each month for the first 3 months. And based on our statistics, we'll close about 2 of those each month. And that will generate, based on our general idea of how much our pricing is, that'll end up being about $20,000 annual income to you. Understand that many of our marketing services especially, but also our networking as it branches out from one strategic location of a business to another, to another, to another, there's residual income that oftentimes comes from that. And so you can have a nice little long financial tail that comes with just the first emphasis of the first 90 days. And typically what would happen then is you'd shift to a maintenance mode in month 4. There's no longer any, we don't have any goals set for you to refer 10 more or 20 more per month. Instead, you'll refer once you get the flavor of it. More importantly, once you see the checks coming, you'll want to continue to refer, but it's more of a maintenance mode. There you go. here is our, that is it in a nutshell. So please understand this. We are there for your success. And of course, you being successful obviously helps us. So if you have any, if you don't have any other further questions, then, well, actually, I just got one, and that is do we have territories? And the answer to that is no, we don't have any territories. Generally speaking, you're going to be finding that your contacts are going to be in your local area, probably. But we provide services throughout the country, and for that matter, worldwide. So if it's somebody that, if our interests are aligned, and we can help them, and more importantly, provide them a return on their investment, which they feel good about, then of course we'd be happy to talk to them wherever they are. If looks like that's all the questions. Thank you very much. We look forward to your success, and we'll be there to walk you through every step of the way.